Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit, Azapi here, back again with My Hero Academia Season 6. We're on episode 13, and just like in the last episode, like I said, we're bombing through the rest of Season 6, trying to get back for Season 7, Episode 2 at least, because obviously I'm not going to be able to get all the episodes out, like recorded and all of that before the first episode, which I believe is tomorrow, so that's not going to happen. So hopefully by next week we should be up to date, and then we can do week to week, and then we'll be focusing the rest of the time and stuff on other shows as well. So yes, so episode 12, we'll do a little bit of a thing. I don't think I'm going to do that much. I know I used to, but you know, we'll just go through the main bits. Gigantomachia seems to be out, if that is possible. I don't know with the sedative actually working, so he may actually be out of the fight for good. The only one that seems to have some form of plan is Compress. To what degree we don't know. I haven't seen him really upgraded yet or evolved, so whatever he decides to do is going to get them out of this pickle. We're about to find out. I assume he's going to compress himself either wholly and get back out of it, or to a point where like he can actually get out of those, get out from being restrained, because no one else is going to be able to at this point, because Spinner looks like his eyes are about to pop out of his skull because the restraints are that tight, and Shigaraki at this point is kind of just on his last legs, so Compress is their only hope at the moment. We've got Mirio, who's back saving the day. He's got his powers back. Eri managed to rewind with precision to the point where Mirio's got his permeation quirk back, which is brilliant. Dabi's gone insane. Will he burn himself out in this fight? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I feel like if he is going to go out, that is the way that it's going to happen. So yeah, I mean, nothing else to really talk about. So yeah, we are going to get an episode 13 and see what we get. But without further ado, there is the full-length version to this reaction in the description below. So if you do want to watch my full-length reaction to this entire episode, then the link is down there for you. But yep, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get episode 13 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go.
Blackout bind! This cannot be where our performance ends!
Final performance? Oh god, maybe Compress might go out in this.
Why have you entered our compound? Creature Rejection Clan.
What is it?
AKA the CRC. Discriminating against heteromorphs like me.
Ah, okay.
They brought a pet.
Repulsive.
Are these rare?
Don't touch!
I know. Burglary isn't the most fashionable crime.
Some weird fucking cult.
We'll leave when we have what we want. You'd be smart to stay out of our way.
It's been a long time since we heard that music.
My prosthetic arm is creaky. Let's have Garen get us new gear.
This wasn't that long ago then as well, either.
This is no way to live. How long can we keep this up?
We spread fear across the country, and now we're reduced to a band of paupers.
Typical. The whole gang's just sitting around. Am I the only one who's actually working to find us some more members?
Have you ever brought back a single person?
Not my fault nobody's worthy.
Is anyone worthy to you, Davy?
I joined the league because I was inspired by Stain. What? Can't describe how hollow I felt. I witnessed Stain's final moments.
It wasn't his final moments, he just got apprehended, didn't he?
The first time I realized how suffocating the culture around me was.
You're basically an empty cosplayer.
I'm still completely empty. Which is why I don't understand why we're wasting time. I thought we were supposed to break the world here.
We also lacked a unified vision. And yet, I loved being in the League of Villains, Spinner.
The face.
Buy you time to wake him up. It's my duty to my bloodline.
Yeah, he's gonna compress himself.
And I'm here. Ah!
Oh my.
Gouging my own flesh.
Oh god.
And so are you.
Yeah, alright. Dude, he took out his own butt cheek.
I can't believe he used his quirk to carve up his own body. You will not escape!
Yeah, no shit.
Clever sleight of hand magic. My costume.
Jesus. He has me thinking it would be Dabby do himself in. Yeah, he's gonna do himself in.
Those talents are all I need to save us from abysmal defeat. No Jiharima. The peerless thief, when the current system was starting to take shape, he stole from false heroes who cared only about lining their pockets. As he spread
It's like a Robin Hood.
he preached social reform.
Yes, it's like Robin Hood.
Get Kidley! Go, Jet Bird!
Yeah, Jeff Burns gonna overpower that anytime.
Dobby, quick!
Didn't
I thought he
cause
would
the
keep going,
reform
but-
I wanted. I know who will. I'm OG Harima's great-great-grandson. The blood of the Bandit King pumps through my veins. My role was saved. For when it really mattered, one must always keep an ace up their sleeve.
Jesus Christ.
It's time for Mr. Compress's spectacular, once-in-a-lifetime escape.
He's got I don't know, maybe he does compress himself and that's how he dies. This fucking Nomu, man. This... It's horrible fucking worm thing. Oh, God. Oh.
I'm glad he... There it is again! Something from All Might's notes. It's the fourth user's quirk. Danger sense.
Well, fourth user. It's got like Spidey sense.
Control.
Admission is free. Relax and enjoy the performance.
Oh, God.
Banish me to the wings before the final curtain falls. Must regain consciousness. Then the League can escape on the backs of a bioengineered chorus. After all, I'm not the lead in this play, just a diversion. I'm just a supporting character. You two are the real stars of the show.
You need to remember who you are.
Oh, God. Christ. Holy fucking hell.
I must say, Tomura has some admirable friends.
Oh,
His voice.
God. Yeah, I remember this.
Long live the king, Tomura.
Ah, bollocks. Yeah, I remember this from the fucking... When they were in, like, the... Sort of like the One for All world, weren't they?
What?
Not good, not good.
How do you want to attack them?
We're withdrawing.
Yeah, I was going to
Wait,
say
you
that.
wanna run?
And
We can't do that. Compress is hurt bad. And Makia's not going anywhere.
I don't even know where Hima goes at this point.
Whatever we want. Going to abandon your comrades?
Hold your tongue, Ikachi.
Did you say Ikachi?
It's all for once, not Shigaraki.
He awoke before his body modifications could be completed. Unfortunately, this meant his regeneration abilities were lacking. That's why I came to lend my aid.
But you can't run away and leave your teammates behind.
Yes, I can.
Oh, God.
Do not let them escape!
Recipro Turbo! I'll finish this in a flash. I became a hero to save people.
Damn right you did.
You won't escape.
The permeation quirk, huh? I have no patience for attacks I can't predict.
Ah, Genius can't hold out. He can't do it anymore, man.
Now, time to go. Learn your place, Master. Stand and fight these villains! Haven't given up.
Fucking hell. He pushed with some force.
His tenacity is comparable to All Might's. Useless Izuku Midoriya.
Useless.
Again when this body's complete.
Knows who it is.
I'll see you soon.
Christ.
So many.
Yeah.
There's no way I can forgive you, but back there, when you were being overtaken, you looked like you wanted to be saved.
To what end, though? You know what I mean? Like, how... you think Shigaraki's totally gone, man. There's no coming back. So yeah, he totally abandoned the fucking, the League. Damn. There wasn't one hero that got out of there unscathed. I don't know if there's going to be enough hospital beds for this, man. Oh, fucking hell, that's it. Jesus Christ, that episode went by quick. Fuck. Okay, episode 13. Wow. Well, there was the resolution. to the big battle. I mean, I figured it had to come. You know what I mean? At some point soon before this episode, and it has. So, in some way, I figured that the conclusion would end with Shigaraki getting out of there. What I didn't anticipate was that he would be getting out of there alone. Because I completely forgot. I was only reminded when obviously All For One came in that had happened previously, where they were in the sort of like the I'm sure there's a word for the place that it was. I just can't remember what it was, but it's basically like that one for all sort of like world that they like inhabit, right? Where it was a battle between the two, and like, you know, it was like all for One's there to sort of like, he can like overpower him and stuff. And so we've literally seen that firsthand in this episode, and with that being the case, he has basically said, I'm not Shigaraki, I'm fucking leaving here, and I will. And I'm leaving here alone, bitch. You know what I mean? I can't drag yous along. It's interesting because like, in some regards, like, obviously, like Shigaraki wouldn't. At least I wouldn't think he would anyway. If he was like sort of in charge at this moment in time. But obviously he's that weak that it's gotten to the point where All For One is being able to take control, right? So, so I don't think, you know, Shigaraki would have done that. But in a way, when like Compress is like, you know, he's the key. It's funny, like, in that regard, then the villains like Spinner and whatnot just have to kind of take heed of that and just realize that, yeah, he kind of is the key. Because it's no use, like, if the choice is only Shigaraki can get out of there but the rest of you have to just stay, then that's the choice that you have to take. Because put it this way, you're not dead, right? You'll be apprehended and taken into, I'd imagine, Terminus Prison, right? Now, Shigaraki, with the sheer amount of power that he's displayed with Decay in this season, like, there is totally no reason why he couldn't just go to Terminus and unleash everyone in there. Which, so, I mean, where are they going to apprehend you? You know? If the heroes had any balls, they'd just kill them. So then they won't have to worry about them later on. But, yeah, of course not. But, yeah, so the one person that has to get away is Shigaraki, because in, like, you know, like Compress said, he's the key. Once he's healed and everything and back to you know, full fitness, so to speak, then he can go and break you guys out if he needs you, you know, which he will. I'm sure he will. And that's probably the point where we'll see Stain again, which it's something I've been, like, you know, waiting for, like, ever since he was like put away and apprehended. I always felt like at some point he would come back into the story in one way or another. I feel like if there is an assault on Terminus, which makes sense to me in a story format, especially now with all of them being apprehended, like, it's not just going to be a thing where now it's just, well, I don't know, maybe it is. Who knows? But you know, that's the thing, is like, I don't know how long's left in this story. I don't know how many more seasons we have to go, you know. So it almost feels like we're coming to a head now with how much Deku is getting control of the other users of One For All. Like, they're coming quick. I didn't think it would come this quickly, to be honest. So, you know, we're already at a point where we know that we've got Black Whip, we've got Float, we've got Danger Sense, which is the new one unveiled in this episode. So that's already like 3, right? Does he have any more? I don't know if I can't remember if he has any more than that. Those are the 3 main ones there that he was using. You know, so there's only so many left to go. A lot of it as well is like, I wonder if a lot of these are coming out specifically because he's in a state of like that requires evolution. You know what I mean? Like, similar to like back in the last episode when he's talking about how my blasts are different than before, my explosions and whatnot. Like, it's almost like these kind of situations, these experiences are almost forcing a quirk to evolve, right, or things to come out that haven't, like, that have been lying dormant, you know. So I wonder if just because Deku is maybe learning these that quickly because it's like an experience, like the experience of like living dangerously on the edge, like the biggest fight he's ever been in, that it's like it's forcing him through more quickly. Maybe that is the case, and the reason why he's learned so much very quickly, you know. So yeah, Shigaraki's gone. I thought it was interesting there at the end, like Deku saying that, you know, when he saw him in there looking like he wanted to be saved. I don't know, is that the first time he's mentioned that, or did he mention that the last time as well, like when they were in there? Because now that I hear it, maybe I think maybe he might have said it once before again too. But I did say in the reaction, like, to what end to be saved? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a case of, like, Shigaraki the way that he is now is not, like, one for all, constantly, like, in control of him. I'm like, it's not like he has the equivalent of, like, a gun to his head telling him to do all of this stuff. I know that, like, All For One is, like, the reason for it, because he's guided him that way. Like, he's basically raised him that way, so that imprint is always there. Like, that nurture did happen because of All For One, but it's not like it's a case of, like, how too far gone are you? Like, will there ever be a point in this series where Shigaraki comes back and he just becomes Tomura again? I just, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's how it ends. Like, I feel like this probably ends with Shigaraki's death, you know, because I just don't think there's a way back for him, and it wouldn't. I'm surely not. I don't think it would end with him just being locked up, or maybe it is. I don't know. If the whole point is, like, they can always come back to this story later on, then maybe. But I just feel like if you're seeing out the story, then it would be, you know, it would have to be the end of Shigaraki, I'd imagine. Because I think in terms of, like, I just think he's too far gone. Like, same with Dabi. Like, you know, there's no coming back from that. So, you know, when Deku's saying, you know, like, but it looked like he wanted to be saved, maybe Deku's just in that mindset because that's the way that he is anyway. You know what I mean? Like, he's always trying to get people to realize the wrongdoing rather than you know, rather than shooting first and asking questions later, right? Like, Deku is, like, the opposite of that, right? So, I feel like whether or not Deku's, like, a hurdle that he has to overcome is, like, to get to a point where he's gonna have to kill someone. Because I don't know if I don't think he has he? I don't think he hasn't killed anyone yet. I feel like he might get to a point where he has to, you know. Because I don't know even if before, like, All Might went against All For One when he basically took off his head. Like, I don't know if like All Might had killed anyone before that as well. And if you want to have it, like, tie in as, like, some, like, you know, a similarity kind of thing that would, like, with Deku, right? That, you know, he never kills someone until it's, like, Shigaraki / One For All, All For One. Sorry. So that might be, like, a hurdle that he has to, like, overcome, right? I can see that. Yeah, so end of the battle. Not one hero left unscathed. Everyone, in some form, shape or another, is physically affected, injured, mentally spent. Is there going to be enough hospital beds for all these people? I mean, Jesus. There's a lot, you know. Who's going to be in charge of doing all of the apprehending the villains and stuff, you know? Because all of the heroes, you know what I mean? I don't know is there any hero right now that's not, like, knocked out or, you know? Spinner is in fairly good shape, right? I mean, I feel like he'd be able to hold off, like, you know, just the regular police and stuff. I don't know if there's any heroes out there that are like, really, like, in good shape at the moment. I know, like, I've seen, obviously, the, you know, the rest of Class 1A and stuff, but they're, like, away from this, right? They're away from where Makia's body is and stuff like that. So I think as well, because obviously Shigaraki had left, that means that, like, all of them are there. I feel like Compress is probably dead. I don't think there's any way to really heal him. I think, you know, Genus said, like, you know, you're not healing from those injuries now, you know. I mean, the guy literally took out his own butt cheek, you know, to that degree. I didn't know what it was going to be like how he was going to get. I knew he had to compress himself, right? Because he'd already told, like, I can only touch myself here. So he had to compress himself. I didn't realise that what it would be is just to, you know, unravel. I'll give him enough sort of leeway so he could, you know, so he could get out that way. But yeah, I think he's done himself in. I don't think there's a way to heal that unless you're going to be quick with it. You know what I mean? Like, that is a lot of. There's going to be a lot of blood loss there, so I feel like Compress might be done. Spinner is out of the compressed ball thing, right? So he's just stood there wondering what the fuck is going on. Makia is totally out, and done. And then you've got like Dabby, who's still in a ball there. But how many people know that he's like stuck there? You know what I mean? Because they're all of them who saw that happen are all out of the picture, so they can't. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, what that's the thing. Actually, I didn't even think if Compress dies, like Dabby would be stuck in that ball forever, wouldn't he? Because I don't know if it would like undo after he's dead. I doubt it would. You know, I don't think that's how it works. Like, Compress has to be there to undo it, right? And that, so yeah, maybe not. Maybe he gets him out, like uncompresses before he dies, maybe something like that. Because I mean, that would just be a weird end. Like, imagine if that was the end of Darby. Like, all right, he's fucked. He's just stuck in there now, and that's it. Although I don't know, like, if theoretically, if Eri was to touch one of those balls and like rewind it, that would work theoretically, right? I feel like it would, because I don't think like you go inside the ball more so than you become it. So I don't know. An interesting one though. Yeah, and the fucking the long haired dude's in there as well. He's still in the ball phase. So yeah, I did think it was interesting as well that Darby actually voluntarily left as well, because obviously I was going on about, like, you know, the idea that I think he's actually totally lost it at this point, and because he's found himself in the position of like being in full out fight, like with like, you know, Shoto and like Endeavor's there and things, and I thought that it would come to a head where Darby wouldn't like try and get out of there. Like, it almost felt like he was just gonna go at it until he couldn't anymore. So the fact that he voluntarily left, yeah, I don't know, that kind of surprised me a bit. But yeah, I guess for his own personal goal, it's not good enough with Endeavor being totally out of it, right? So, because that's the thing, that he wants to totally get back at Endeavor, so I guess that doesn't work when he's knocked out. God, what else? Yeah, I guess like with Compress as well, we've got a little bit of backstory there with his bloodline, and that his bloodline focuses on the justice of fairness, and so his old, what was it, great grandpa, was that what it was? Great, either way, Ori Harima, is it, or Hajima, one of the two. Robin Hood. Robin Hood, he steals from the rich, gives to the poor. So yeah, that's basically where that comes in. He was known as the Bandit King, and that's where it follows on. He's always been like that, and doing it for the justice of fairness. And just like his great-grandfather wanted to get rid of or destabilize Hero Society for that, because even back then, as it does now, like it's interesting that I guess like nothing's changed from then to now. Like, there's always heroes out there for the monetary gain rather than it being anything else. You know, they really focus on. It's interesting because I guess in that regard, Compress, Spinner, are both like in line with that sort of thinking, that like we're talking about the old school style of hero, the ones that do it not for the monetary gain or anything like that, but you know, they do it for altruistic purposes and stuff like that. But this is something obviously we've talked about before in this show. You know, with obviously the whole Stain thing is about that and everything, and I guess like it's not a they might say it is a bad thing for one reason or another, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's you know, I get kind of what compresses like Bloodline and everything when they go on about unfairness. I guess it is, but then life isn't fair. Like if you're able to put like your quirk that you've been sort of like gifted in a way to a good use and you get paid for it, then that's all well and good. And I don't know if like if you're willing to like think that that's a bad thing, you know, because the idea is that these people are like, oh no, you can only do it for altruistic reasons. Well, surely that doesn't matter in the bigger picture as long as people are being helped, right, and saved. Like, so, you know, that it's just basically the money is a byproduct almost of what the actual job is, you know. But that's the thing, is what this story obviously is going on with is the idea that it's not just a case of like these aren't special beings in a way because there is that many of them, that there's that many people that populate the earth that have quirks, that the issues sort of rise up from the idea that it's that many people that it can become a job, you know. But why wouldn't it? You know what I mean? There's so many quirks out there that are useful for so many things, and not just the idea of an old-fashioned hero going up against an old-fashioned villain. So, you know, but it's interesting nonetheless. Yeah, so that was a Nomu signal quirk thing. I was wondering what the fuck was going on. Another bloody quirk thing that he has, basically getting that Nomu horde, which I forgot to talk about actually last episode. That horde is filled with Nomu that are actually animals and not humans, right? Like there's the insect one, which is horrific. That worm thing, which is dead now, but I don't know. I guess it killed the driller dude. I didn't think it did at first. Like I thought it did at first, and then he was in there and he drilled through the fucker's brain. But then I don't know. He could still be alive, but Vernon just didn't realize. Like obviously, it doesn't look good from the outside, right? I mean, I thought he was done. I thought he was chomped in half. But I hate those kind of things, man. Worms, fucking centipedes, all that kind of shit. It's horrible. So yeah. God, what else? Oh yeah, we've got a bit of the backstory as well, with Creature Rejection Clan as well. I feel like I remember that being brought up before, but we hadn't seen it. And so this idea of like a Creature Rejection Clan, CRC, basically a cult group that don't like heteromorphs, so all of those people that are sort of like animal related in some way. They're not human anymore in the traditional sense, that they're part bird or part lizard or part whatever the fuck. They're not into that kind of thing. So I wonder, I guess, I don't know if this is just a thing that is, I almost feel like this is almost one facet of it. Whatever this sort of like this building that they've went to was almost like one facet of it, not the whole thing. Like I feel like this likely is a thing that happens all over the world, that it's like a clan or a group that people almost like see it as a religion almost, you know. So I don't think they've just wiped out the CRC there, but then thinking about it, I don't really know how much further need there is for these people in the show. I guess you could make a whole thing like out of, you know, one villain is like at the head of it, and he's a pretty tough villain to, like, you know, to defeat, and then you could have that whole thing. But that almost seems like something that would happen in like a My Hero movie, for example, right? Like the big bad is the head of the CRC, and that's what the whole thing's about. So I could almost see that. But it's interesting to get to see them and what they're on about anyway, in this episode. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, going ahead, I feel like the idea is that wherever All for One has taken Shigaraki's body to heal and mend or whatever. That'll be what happens. He'll heal, mend up. The rest of the league and whatnot will be apprehended, taken to... Is it Terminus or Tartarus? It's Tartarus, isn't it? I've been calling it Terminus. I feel like, yeah, he'll be taken there because it's the one place that's meant to house those with quirks. And then whenever Shigaraki's back and in form, he'll target that, and a massive breakout will happen. I can see that happening. So yeah, and it's interesting. I don't know to what, like, when that'll happen either, because this is episode 13. We've got what, 25 episodes. So we're gonna have 12 episodes of, like, you know, shit to happen in a new arc or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'd imagine there's going to be, in some form or fashion, some time skip anyway, because at this moment in time nobody's really eligible to do anything. They'll just be hanging around in fucking hospital wards and healing up. So I feel like, you know, just like the heroes, will be a time skip of them to when they're back at the best, or at least somewhat. The same will be happening with Shigaraki and whatnot. So I don't know, maybe a breakout will happen at the end of the season, who knows. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. Also, yeah, I wrote down, yeah, Mirio getting hit. Mirio getting hit as well, by All for One's, whatever that thing's called, the black fucking and red, like, sort of thingies that he uses, right? To undo people's quirks, right? I guess I thought that the reason how he managed to essentially hit him was that he blocked the vision of him doing that around one of Gigantomachia's sort of, like, spiky struts. But then thinking about it, because isn't it like a quirk stopper or a quirk? Oh no, it's a quirk, like, activator thing, right? Like, he can force an activation. That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, because I was going down the rabbit hole of thinking, like, maybe because it was like, originally when I was just coming up there, was it a quirk deactivator or not? If it was a deactivator, then I guess there was an idea that, like, it could hit him regardless of if he was, like, permeated or not. But yeah, it's a force activation thing, isn't it? And I don't think I don't know if it has any more strings to its bow in terms of deactivating a quirk, so therefore it could hit him, rather than it just being, yeah, it's out of, like, his vision and behind him, which he wasn't expecting, so that's what, you know, got him at the end. So we'll just go with that. You know, it was out of his vision. It was smart from All for One, of course, his experience coming into play, and yeah, you can tell that as well, because he's totally, like, not phased about anything like, going on when he's a part of, like, when he's got control, which, you know, it makes sense for him. You know, he's so experienced and whatnot. But it also tells you exactly, like, how much control All for One has compared to Shigaraki, and even by extension, like, all the kids. You know, that, like, you know, that all of you on my level. Like, he's kind of saying that. And so there's a way to go and a way to train, a way to get better and to reach the full potential before we get a massive showdown at the end. It will be interesting when it comes to that, because I'd imagine that would play a part in the final battle whenever that takes place, that there will be a fight for supremacy over Shigaraki, right? And it'll be interesting to see how that is. Like, you kill one and kill the other, maybe. Like, it could be a thing where, like, Shigaraki's totally being outdone. Like, maybe his, like, maybe his conscience just, like, totally disappears because All for One's taken that much control over it. Because that's what originally we found out, right, about All for One, is that, like, he was able to give quirks to people and control them, right, after he did so. So whoever he gave a quirk to, he could control. And so in some way, it wouldn't surprise me that, like, at the end he's doing this for his own goal, to basically make Shigaraki as powerful as he possibly can, and then just take him over, and then it's like All for One's got a brand new body all over again. That just seems what All for One would do, right? He's raised this kid up to be his next body, almost. I can see that happening, you know. So maybe that would be the thing of, like, if you want to go down the route of Shigaraki wanting to be saved, that, I don't know, maybe Shigaraki in the end, you don't know. It could be a thing of, like, at the end, like the very end, like Shigaraki kills himself to stop him being taken over. I don't know. There could be any amount of things going on there. But, you know, theory crafting. That's what I like to do. But anyway, yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things like the Patreon, so you can get over there if you want the full length and early access to certain shows. That they will be there for you if you want to get access to those. But anyway, yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.